And finally, after many months, my mother got off of Valium.
It took her months to get off.
It took her forever. I don't remember exactly because, sleep deprived. I don't remember exactly what happened. But I remember the minute I'd fall asleep, my mom would go, Minette, play cards with me, And she was just freaking out. She went back to her doctor and she told him what she was trying to do. And he got in her face and he said, Mrs. Hirose, you could have died from doing this. Now this is what prescription drugs can do to you. I mean, time in and time out, you know of people whose lives have been destroyed because their children, their family members, are addicted to medication. And they can't get off. So you have your choice. You can try that route, which, I'll be honest with you, if I'm going to have my right foot cut off, I want to be sedated. I want all the drugs under the sun. But if we're talking about something like pain relief, that type of thing, probably stress reduction, I would choose Reiki. And that's how it began for me, because I used to have like a very nervous stomach. And my mother would say, here, you could take a pill, but I learned with Reiki, I was able to calm it. So, for me, when I first started learning about Reiki about 10 years ago, it was like turning on the faucet to a floodgate of information. It was a miracle to me. And I thought to myself, I know I have a lot of problems. I'm crazy. My husband can testify to that. I mean, there's issues that I have.
You drove me crazy.
Well, I was crazy before he met me, but there's some things that there's some things about yourself that that you could improve yourself. There's some issues. Positive thinking, that's one of the things that I really strive to work on. But one of the other things that I had was that nervousness inside the stomach. Man, I was in the bathroom more than anybody, and if you got in my way, God help you, because I'd push you out of the way. But I noticed with when I practiced Reiki, and I didn't do all the sacred symbols, but just the intention alone, I would lay my hands on my stomach, and I noticed that I was able to calm it. And so that was my beginning, and I thought if I could calm myself, I could help other people. Look, I'm already calming Heather. I want you to know that as a person, the way that I do things, I'm usually extremely conservative. Everything I do, I try to do to the best of my ability. I'm Japanese. That's the way I was raised. I dot every T. I dot every I and I cross every T. Obviously, Oralee's awake, but how I do things, I try to just do it the best of my abilities. And I'm also added to that. I got a double whammy. I'm a Libra. I'm born in October. Yes. Yeah, Libra. Okay, let's go. Excuse me. Let's go to McDonald's together and figure out what we're going to have for lunch.
Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. I'm like, okay, what do I want? Do I want a salad? No, I don't want a salad. Do I want a frappe? Oh yeah, that sounds good, but no, I'm on a diet and I better not do that. But anyway, so this is where I found myself, the Libra, the planet of love, the Minette Howell, dotting every I, crossing every T, trying to do everything right. I want to make sure everything is right. I can't tell you how many times I've read this script and I'm still messing it up, but that was the way I led my life. I thought about it twice. There's only two things I've ever done impulsively, and they were both great things. One of them is I married that man over there. And the other thing was I started practicing Reiki immediately. I didn't sit there like some people going, gee, I didn't feel anything. She went like this to me, and I felt nothing. I didn't think like that. I thought, I wonder, because my teacher, I respected her. My teachers, I have many. One is Nancy. I respect these people. And they said to me that I could have a healing. And I believed them. And based on that belief, I started working on everybody I could. Call me the Reiki fanatic. I did nails. All my clients, can you imagine? I'm practicing a peace and calming modality. My clients are trapped at the table with me for a good hour and a half, and they're trying to stay awake, and I'm oozing with Reiki love, and they're like, oh God, help me. So that was the first thing I started noticing, was that I not only could make myself relax, but I made a lot of other people relax. So anyway, When I was doing the Reiki, I'm going to show you something that I was doing in the very beginning. I shouldn't affirm this, but you don't hear me say this. I have a terrible memory. I can remember, unless you're my husband or one of my children, I can remember anything that David did. He told me he was going to water some plants about 20 years ago. He forgot to water them and they all died. I can remember that. But try to get me to remember 12 hand positions and then the sacred symbols from Reiki. Try to get me to remember that. I was like, oh God, help me. So I Xeroxed everything. Thank God I wasn't taught by Madame Takata. Madame Takata would take your notes and burn them. I mean, she wouldn't let you have notes. But my teacher, my first one, Billy Oder, would allow me to take these notes, and I took the notes, and I'd have the person in front of me, and I just drop them on their chest. I mean, the great Reiki master who knows what she's doing, I'm just dropping it on their chest. And that was how I started my Reiki career. And you know that dropping my notes on my client's chest, one of them had rheumatoid arthritis. And does anybody know what rheumatoid arthritis is in this room? My mother had it. She died from the side effects from it. It's extremely horrible pain. You can't move because your joints are well, they're locked and there's nothing left. There's no cartridge left. The body disintegrates. I mean, you're on major painkillers towards the end of your life. But this woman said that what I did for her, and she's like, I don't know what you were doing. All I know is I was laying there and boom, the paper hit me and she'd see purple light. And she would have a noticeable lessening of pain. Praise God is right. And I saw her every 3 weeks for years. And she paid me money. I mean, why would, if it didn't work, why was she paying me? So that was one of them. Another client who, he probably needed some help with his mind as well. He came in, he told me he had prostate cancer. It was Ray. Prostate cancer, and he had something else going on. And anytime someone said that they had an issue going on, of course they were on my table. I have them on my table, I give them the Reiki. I gave him the Reiki. He was healed so well, he didn't even remember he was on the table. But I talked to his wife later, and he was fine. I mean, those are just two off the top of my head results. So when I became a Reiki master, I was attuned by Dr. Jim Greenwood. He works out of Serenity Now. Wouldn't it be funny if he was in this room? I haven't seen him in so long, I don't remember what he looks like. But he's real skinny. He's a breatharian, and he's a wonderful man. He's got the softest hands. You should be attuned by him. Really great soft hands. But anyway, after he made me promise him that I would attune 3 other people. And so when I attuned those 3 other people, I had one student in particular that was really anxious to get me to attune her. And later on, during the process, she brought her husband in. We had dinner with the husband. We talked with them. But he became what I commonly call as my Reiki practice dummy. So the 3 people, we always have somebody we're giving Reiki to. And we had him on the table, and my 3 students and myself were all sending him Reiki. And I thought, oh, that's nice. He just, he has nothing better to do. He likes to be, it's very calming to get Reiki. And later on, I found out, unbeknownst to me, that he had a terminal illness, and to this day, he's still alive. And that was 10 years ago. So I guess he doesn't have a terminal illness. Or I guess he was healed. So, I mean, these are some of the things that happen. Oh, I had somebody that I just recently attuned about last year. She was driving the next day and noticed that the sight in one of her eyes had changed. We had somebody that attended a Reiki gathering. He was going to have surgery on a detached retina. And the next day I called him up because, I was concerned. And he says, Minette, I don't need the surgery. Now, I don't know. All I know is I'd rather have Reiki than have surgery. Anything with my eyes. Yeah, and let's embarrass Michael.